What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. That is Mike Fuji up top. I am Al Northley, and together we are at the 50 with Fuji and Fleet. And today's show, we have a former Flyers player up here with us. We'll introduce him in a minute, but we're going to talk to him for a little bit. And then after he goes off, Fuji and I is going to talk about the upcoming game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Baltimore Ravens. So stay tuned for that. Okay, as I say, we have a former professional ice hockey left winger who played 15 seasons in the NHL from 1979 to 1994. And he was featured in 5 Stanley Cup finals with 3 different teams. Mr. Brian Propp. How are you, Brian?
Hey, how's everybody
doing, bro?
Tonight? Yeah.
Good, Brian. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Now, you played with the Flyers quite a bit. Do you still go around the organization?
So what I do is, like, I still live in New Jersey in the summer in Seattle City. Summer, but I've been here from 45 years, like ever since I played for the Flyers. Okay. So like, I was 15 years in the NHL, and I played a year in France. And then I built the Medford ice rink in Medford for 3 years. And then I did the radio every home and away game and playoff game for the Flyers on radio from 2000 to 2009. And then for 5 years, I worked at the Judge Group in Conshohocken. And then after the last 5 years, 10 years, I've been with Wolf Commercial Real Estate in Marlton, New Jersey. And so I just doing a lot of different things, but it's just nice to be here in the show.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly appreciate you coming on. And you started out your hockey career with the Millville Millionaires of Saskatchewan. Tell us about that.
Well, I was 15 when I just started, because I grew up in a little town in Neudorf in Saskatchewan of 300 people. My dad was a Lutheran minister. He preached in English and German every Sunday, and I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. We're all 13 months apart, so that's what you had to have to put a hockey team together, because little teams, farming, it was big, but you didn't have many people there. And so when I was 15, I always played early before. And I did really well my first year when I was 15 and 16 with Jerry James was the coach. He coached in football and NHL, and he played in both pro teams. And but when I was 15, I tell people I'll never forget when I played for the Melville Millionaires, I was a millionaire once, and I went from there down.
Brian, as a matter of fact, I got a coworker and friend when I talked to you last week. We'll be at that Carl's Cards when you're signing your book then a couple weeks next week. And
yeah, that's awesome, because Carl has done a lot of things for me. He does a lot of podcasts. He helps me. He does a silent auction for me. I run my own charity hockey, a golf event at River Winds for the Stroke Center of University of Pennsylvania. It's my 3rd year. It'll be May 12th if anybody wants to find out more about that, like it's Ron Jaworski's golf clubs, but it helps the Stroke Center of University of Pennsylvania. But so Carl helps me do the silent auction, and so we raise a little money for that, and he's a good guy.
Can you, as far as your book that's out now, can you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah. So I did the book with Wayne Fish. He's a writer from Philadelphia, like when I first started my career in the Flyers, and I've known him for a lot of years. And then, so it wasn't until I had my stroke 9 years ago that we decided it might make sense to do a book together, because hockey is one thing, but having a stroke and how it affects your life, made a big story. So it took us 2 years to do the recordings, and then we edited everything after that for a year. And so we just opened it up in a couple of weeks ago. So it's going along really well, and happy to say that we're #1 for stroke books right now, and we just started. So, but for me, it's more about my life, my faith, and a little bit of hockey, and my stroke, and how I recovered from my stroke, because there's a lot of people here that don't know hockey, but they can get affected by strokes, and how I can help them. So like have a lot of hints in the book how I can help get people get better. So that's really exciting, and also like I was an ambassador for Bancroft brain and stroke people for 3 years in Mount Laurel too. So I know a lot of people that have strokes and brain injuries, and so I talk with them all the time. I try to give them hope, and they have to keep up with their rehab, because if you don't, sometimes it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, earlier you had stated, you was talking about your dad, how strong his faith was. Now, he also was a hockey player, or he taught you how to play hockey. And your first chapter, A Dad for All Season, talk about that.
Yeah, so like my dad was like, he was a really good hockey player. Like he could have, like there was only 6 teams in the year in the NHL, and he had a chance to maybe go to a camp. He was 6'3" and about 215 pounds, solid, strong farmer, and but he decided to go to the ministry. And so when he was younger, he used to play senior hockey, and then when we had five kids in 6 years, he decided to kind of stop the senior hockey, because he got called names because they said he was a dirty player, but he was a keen player.
Mm-hmm.
He was a smart player. He played a defenseman. He had a good hip trick. And so he knew people were taking advantage of him. But I learned a lot from him.
Mike?
Brian, as far as your career, I know you came up 79, 80 with the Flyers. I believe it was the year the Flyers won 35 games without a loss under Pat Quinn. Can you get into your rookie year and touch on that a little bit?
Well, so that was just when I got drafted 14th overtime, that was the team that there was the NHL merged, so there was only one league, and so like it used to be the World Hockey Association, and then they merged at that time. So then they turned it to an as 18-year-old draft, and so like Ray Bork and Laurie Boschman were drafted before me, and like Brad McCrimmon and Ray Ellison were in first round too, but the better players went a little earlier, which is fine for me, because it gave me a chance to play for the Flyers and get into playoffs and play with good teams. But when I played in Brandon for 3 years, we had powerful teams. Like in Melville, like I won the scoring there, and then my 3 years in Brandon, I won the scoring twice in the league. And then and we had good teams and good coaches, and so we didn't lose that much. And so I was used to winning, because my first year in Brandon, I only lost 12 games. My second year, I only lost 8 games, and in my third year in Brandon, only lost 5 games out of 672 games. So I'm so used to winning. So when I first started playing for the Flyers, I played with Bob Clark and Reggie Leach the first 20 years, and I scored a goal and had an assist, the game winner, and against Bill Smith. So this is going to be easy game. Right. And then we lost 9-2 to Atlanta, and I was like, whoa, is this what it's going to be like in NHL? And then we went 35 without a loss, but we had a good team. We had 4 good lines. We were a tough team. Pete Peters was a rookie, and Phil Beer was a good there. So we just found ways to put it together, but it was pretty amazing.
Go
ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, it's back to you.
Tell us about your first game against the New York Islanders.
Yeah, so the thing is that I always worked hard. Like I wasn't afraid. Like I didn't think that, hey, Bobby Clark was a star. Like I just treated everybody the same. Like I was from Canada. I was really quiet at that time, and but he helped me to be a better leader. Just the way he talked on the ice and gave me directions to what to do. But I remember the first game, because I had an assist and I scored in the second period, and to be the game winner. And so that's a good way to start. And then we're just happy. And then from there, just 35 without a loss. Everyone kind of knew that. And then that year we went to the finals against the New York Islanders because it was number 1 against number 16. That's why we met in the finals, because then they changed the division after that. But it wasn't like that all the time. But it was a good way to get started, win the Stanley Cup and 35 undefeated streak and get into playoffs almost every year.
That Stanley Cup Finals against the Islanders, I mean, did you ever get over that controversial call?
Well, what are you going to do? Like, I was on the ice when it was 2 feet offside. And, what are you going to do? Like, I stopped because I thought it was going to be a call, and then it didn't. But so a lesson for us is just don't stop until you hear the whistle. And then they scored. And then I think the first goal was high stick too. And then we lost in overtime. But who knows? Like, if we win in overtime, game 6, maybe we come back to game 7 and we win there. And so who knows? I was a rookie and just had fun. And then, but thankfully, I played a lot of years, and we did really well in the playoffs. And so, like, I did good with playing with good teams, and it makes a big difference.
Growing up, did you emulate your game after anybody?
Yeah, well, in hockey, I wasn't really. I didn't know hockey too much because I was on the farm, and we didn't have any radio. We only had one channel, and the other one was snowy too, fuzzy. So but we used to walk NHL hockey like on Saturday nights, and so I liked Montreal because I liked Jean Beliveau. He was a classy guy, so I just liked the way he played, and he held himself.
Yeah.
Now, in Game 1 of the 1989 Stanley Cup Series against the Montreal Canadiens, that's when you got a concussion. And I think a little bit after that, one of your teammates kind of tried to rebound for you, didn't he?
Yeah, so that was that was in 89. Like, I was leading the scoring for the playoffs that year, and of course Chris Chelian hit me really bad from behind, dirty hit, and he didn't even get a penalty for it. And like that would have been 20 game substantial before. But and then of course Ron Hextall, he in game 6, we had 2 minutes left, and so he just was up fed Ed, and we probably weren't going to win anyway. So I like that he backed me. He defected me by hammering Chelios on the ice, and just meant leadership for me because he was sticking up for his teammate, and so that was we unfortunately lost that season, but he got the 12 game suspension, which was brutal. I don't know, but he didn't really do much, and so it hurt our club at that time because we were just kind of getting out of the playoffs, and we were we just had a bad start, so that really hurt.
Brian, 1986, 87, I talked to you about this. Right, you took, as they called it, the greatest offensive team probably ever assembled. You took Edmonton to 7 games. You shattered your knee in December of 86. It took you 2 months to get back. You guys just, to me personally, is one of my favorite teams of all time. And Philly that never won anything. But what, night after night, just, it was like a heavyweight fight, 7 games. You guys were down 6 of the 7, came back. I mean, the heart and soul and the fire you put into these guys, now you're getting me fired up thinking back to that. But you guys just had to be heartbroken after that loss of losing to Edmonton.
Yeah, but I think that people here in Philadelphia appreciate the effort that you had, the heart and heart that you have to win games. And that year we had Mark Howe, who's an unbelievable player, and then Ron Hextall, he's a rookie, and he played really well. And we had Tockett and Zell and Smith and Poulin and Kerr, and of course Tim Kerr was hurt most of the season, and then Elko was hurt, and then Dave Poulin was. We were so beat up, but at least we gave it a good run because we came from behind a lot of those games, and then so we decided to win. But I remember my fifth game in the finals. Like it was in Edmonton. I had 4 assists, and we won 4-3, and then to force a game 6. And then, of course, game 6 in the finals, I scored with 6 minutes left to tie the score 2-2, and then JJ scored to force game 7, and then it would give us a chance. Like you never know. Right. Game 7s, you can do. But we were so beat up and hurt, and Edmonton is so powerful. But I think people appreciate the fort we the way we worked and we stuck together because we were in the 80s. We were close teams. We'd party together. We'd go to the bars. You'd have a couple of beer. You'd tell stories. You'd hang up with the people. At that time there was mostly Canadian and Americans, and like the Russians weren't even getting drafted until '90. So it's changed a lot since then. But just 87 was special for us, and then Ron winning the MVP meant a lot. And but like most of these guys know, like they just want a chance to win, and that's what it did. It gave us a chance to win a Stanley Cup.
I mean, you guys were hurt, banged up, but you guys just came back and kept fighting. What was the difference playing with Pelle Lindbergh as to playing with Ron Hextall?
Well, in 85, when he died, like 84, like he won the Vezina, like he was one of the best goalies in the league that year. And then he didn't lose a game at the start of this 85, and then until his crash. But it was in a kind of a shine because he didn't really drink too much, but that day we had like 5 games away, and so like people just party a little bit too much, and so it's a shame. But he was one of the he wanted to be like Bernie Parent. Bernie Parent played his angles really well, and it was very fast, and Pelle loved Bernie, and Bernie helped him just because he was with the Mainers and the Flyers as a goalie coach. And so he helped him a lot. And of course, Ron Hextall kind of changed the way hockey was made, the way they shoot the puck. Ron Hextall could shoot the puck better than most players. And so that changed the game. So that really made a difference for us because Hextall would dump the puck out and then we dump it back in. And so it ended up being, 2 different kind of goalies, but they both are respected.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to clear something up for me. Now, you said you played with Barbie Clark, right?
Yes.
Now, at some point, he became the GM while you were still playing. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was 5 years in the league. Like at the start, like with this 79-80, like I played 20 years with Clark and Leach, and then I switched back to Bill Barber, and then I played with Kenny Linsman and Kenny Linsman and Paul Holmgren, and then but he retired and went out in 85, and then he became a GM for a few years for the Flyers, and then so like that was so I got a chance to play with him for 5 years.
Now, and then when you left the Flyers, he was the GM. Was that Minnesota? Or?
Yeah. So what happened that year is that like in 1990, like the Flyers were kind of just want to change the way they did things. Like they were giving away most of the veteran players and trading them to other teams. And Jay was supposed to be the owner, like with Ed, his son. And that didn't work too well. After 5 years, he gave it back to Ed. So like I was hurt that year, like Mike said, and so like I was fresh with the playoffs, and then so I just came back and played a couple of games, and then I got traded to Boston. But that year in January, Dave Poulin got traded back to the Bruins also. So like the two of us were the best penalty killers in the league. And so like Bob Clark did me a favor by having me to be in Boston because we were number one in the year all through the year. And so he gave me a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And then the Flyers didn't make a playoffs that year, and they didn't make it for 5 years after that. But he gave me a good job, and then he got fired at the end of the year, and then and so I was a free agent. So he brought me to Minnesota.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you played with a lot of great guys, a lot of great people. Anybody in the that know anything about hockey know the name of Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. You played with those guys. What was it like playing with greats like that?
Well, like at that time in the '87 Canada Cup, it was Canada Cup tournament. So there was three different teams in different divisions, like all over the world. And so I was the oldest player in the league that year with '87, and I played with Gretzky and Lemieux on the same line most of the tournament. I told these guys, "Hey, listen, I'll play defense, and you guys give me the get to the puck, and we'll go from there." So like I was smart, but it was great playing with them. That season was one of the best ever. There were 3-game series. Every score was 6-5. We lost the first one 6-5. We won the second game 6-5 in double overtime, and I was on the ice with Gretzky and when Lemieux scored, and then we forced the game 7 or 3, and then Lemieux scored with a minute left. We win it 6-5, and to win, at least I won the gold that year.
Mike, go
Brian, as far as Al just talking about Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, was there a favorite player and that you played with?
Well, I loved Mark Howe and Brad McCrimmon because they played in the so easy. Like in the '80s, they were plus 80 or almost every year, and so like that you get a good scoring chance. They're the two best defensemen together. But then when I played in Boston, I played with Ray Bourque and Neely. So that was good. And then in Minnesota, I played with Mike Modano and Neil Broughton and Brosson. And so like I always played with good players. And then in Hartford, I was just a free agent. And so I didn't play that much, but Paul Homigan was a coach. And then he went to the GM halfway through the season where Pierre Maguire took over. But at least Pierre gave me a chance to play on the power play to get my 1,000 points in 1,000 games, which was a nice milestone for me.
Also, was there a player that you just didn't like playing against or couldn't stand?
Well, there's a couple from Montreal, like Bob Daly, Gamey. Like he's big and strong, 6'3". He's tough to play against because you couldn't get a scoring chance against him. And of course, Knuckles Nyland. Like you didn't know what was going to do because I was scared that you never know what's going to happen. But it was sort of like my first year when I was a rookie, Gordie Howe was still playing. He was in Hartford, and Ray Ellison was in Hartford. So I'll never forget playing against Gordie Howe. He was 51, a year older than my dad when he stopped. And then we had the All-Star game in Detroit. And there's 6 of us made the All-Star game, so I got to play against him in the All-Star game at the new rink in 1980, the Lewis. And then so like in the All-Star game, I played with Phil Esposito and Reggie Leach, and I got an assist and a goal. And so it was good. I was a young player, but had a lot of really good memories.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this: if I say to you, the class of 1923 rink. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we used to practice there. So like most of us lived in New Jersey. So we drove together and for practice. And Schuylkill was right there, but you're always there early, and it was such a cold rink. But
yes,
it's character, but it was and so they've done a lot with that. Like now, like they put a lot of money into the Ed Snyder Foundation with hockey, and our Flyers alumni is donating $2 million to the rink to help it get it fixed up. We have like $1 million left to put it in, but we're really helping with the rink that they have for there. So it's nice for hockey. And especially in 1980, when all the Olympics, the U.S. won the Olympics, hockey started taking off.
Well, I drive now for the Flyers, and I bring all the visiting team in. And there are quite a few teams that go there for practice, and it's so cold. You can feel the coldness through the bricks on the outside.
Yeah, but at least they're skating and getting heated up, so you have to make sure that you dress well.
Yeah, absolutely.
In Saskatchewan, where I did, like it's mostly in the middle of nowhere, but there's like Saskatchewan's bigger than Texas, and there are less than 1 million people in the province. So like, and it's in January and February, it's minus 30 or 40 below, and so like you have to park your black horse or into the car so that it keeps it warm. And like a couple of days ago, my brothers who live in Saskatoon, they had 3 feet of snow, so they sent me some cool pictures. So I'm glad I wasn't there.
Brian, you were inducted. I was reading in about 3 different Hall of Fames, not the NHL Hall of Fame, but Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Like I have the rural, and then the provincial, and then another Saskatchewan, and then of course the Flyers Hall of Fame in 1999, when I was inducted to, and then this March I'm getting inducted into the Brandon Wheat Kings Hall of Fame. It's only their second time they're doing that. So in March 12th, 13th, and 14th, we're going to have a Legends hockey game and a couple of hockey games and a gala and an induction for that. So that'll be March of 2015 or 21. So I'm just nice to be awarded these awards. I'm just hopefully that one of these days I'll get in the NHL Hall of Fame.
Congratulations on your milestone there. Yeah.
Okay. Before we just got a few more minutes with you before we let you go here. Tell us about how you feel about the 2024 Flyers.
Yeah, so like I liked the way that they've been building it the last couple of years with Briere and Jones and Don Heffernan running the team, because before it was Comcast, and it was like I don't think they had good leadership for that, but now it seems like Danny and Jones are doing a really good job of building the team with faster players, younger players, and they've got a couple Russians and a couple goalies, and but like last year they were really tough to play against, and they almost made it into the playoffs, except for they kind of lost in the last 9 or 8 or 10 of the games. Otherwise they could have got in the playoffs. So they're exciting. They're fun to watch, and I like that they have a couple tough guys, because that's what you need. You have someone that needs to take care of the skilled players, and so like what they did with in the old days. But so like for me, I really like the way that they're building it, the right team.
Mike.
Brian, I was going to actually ask you this before, but I got sidetracked. As far as not to bring up 1989 again, do you talk to Chris Chelios?
No, I was at Brad McCremmon's funeral, because he died in a plane crash in Detroit, like 12 years ago, and so like I was one of the guys at the funeral, and like I saw Chelios, but I didn't say anything, and he kind of stays away from me, and he's not. I don't respect him as much as other people. Like I'm not like that normally, but he hasn't. It wasn't sore of what he did, and a couple posts that he did a couple of years ago, kind of didn't sit right with me. So like he has to get over it. But other than that, like it's I just I'm happy with my life, as my dad said when I was leaving from Brandon. I said, be happy with your own life, and everything else will come take care of itself. And so I'll never remember that when my dad told me when I was leaving to go to the NHL. And so it stuck. And hopefully most of the people over here have faith and just take this message that just be happy with your own self and then take care of itself, because people think about too many things and they're not happy themselves. So if you're healthy, makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Great point.
One other thing I wanted to mention too is like, hey, listen, so I have my own cigar brand, the Gaffa Cigars from the Dominican Republic at gaffacigars.com. And I'll have a couple cigar events. One's going to be at Chubby's Steakhouse, December 15th and 16th in Gloucester City. And so if anybody wants some tickets, so they can go to their website and order some tickets.
Yeah, I definitely do that, because I've gotten into cigars in the last 4 or 5 years. So that definitely be something I would be very interested in.
Yeah, well, I'll send you guys a brochure for it.
Okay, great. Appreciate you. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and sharing some of your hockey and life adventures. And I wish your book continue to do well. I got it on Kindle. I'm going to finish reading it, and appreciate you coming on, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. That was nice. And like, I have a book signing on the 8th and the 12th at the Wells Fargo Center. Like probably section 113. I think that's what I had. That was there last year. Or so like, if they want, they can just kind of go there and buy a book for me.
No,
Brian.
Okay. If you ever, sorry about that. If you ever get down to the press room, that's where I'm at every game.
Okay. Well, I was just there to give a book from Bob Clark the last game. So
Okay.
I'll try to stop once in a while.
Absolutely.
Hey, Brian, one more thing before I go. My friend who's going to be at Carl's Cards actually has a puck from the Melville Millionaires that he's going to have you sign.
Oh yeah, that's great. Awesome.
His name's Jason. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, looking forward to that.
All right. Well, thank you.
Before we know it.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
All right. Thanks, Mike and Al.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right.
Have a good night. Very great interview.
Absolutely. I enjoyed that tremendously, especially with somebody, that's been in the league, been around all those players and of his stature as well. So that was, I enjoyed it thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's, I think he's second, all time in Flyers scoring. That's statistic-wise.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's get into this Eagles and Ravens game, because I got to go pick up the Rangers here in about an hour. So
you can't leave them there. That's the Rangers. No. Come on,
I can't do
they
that.
can wait a few minutes. It's the Rangers.
Yeah,
you know how we feel about New York.
Absolutely,
Especially the New York Rangers.
Let's talk about the weekends coming up. Now, my main thing, and see how you feel about it. You got Derrick Henry, and Saquon Barkley. That's
1 and 2 in the league.
Yes, that's going to be a great game. I believe, I feel, and the defenses half on both teams has to be at their top in order to stop either one of these guys.
Well, I think Baltimore has fallen off last year since they lost Patrick Queen to the Steelers. Last year, that Baltimore defense was just lighting it up, playing lights out. But I think they've kind of fallen off a little bit. But opposite of what the Eagles are playing right now, I mean, you can't really ask for much better play out of Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond, Quentin Mitchell. Just if this guy's not up for defensive rookie of the year, I don't know who's going to get it.
Absolutely.
Playing like a well-seasoned veteran, thanks to Darius Slay. That's secondary, the Eagles. I mean, they're balling out. I mean, Jalen Carter's, Milton Williams, those guys up front too. You got to give them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I think the other day when Quinyon, that was his first touchdown
giving up yet
of the year, and you can't beat that, man. I mean, everybody gets paid in the NFL.
Well,
So
right. I mean,
what gets me is people will say, well, they haven't beat nobody. They beat the teams that I put in front of them.
Right.
And for them to have the continuous playing, powerful play that they've been having, especially in light of last year, I think this is remarkable, and just hoping that they can continue it on. And I don't see any reason why they can't. You got different coordinators that seems to be making a major difference. And so, hey, man, I'm looking forward to this Sunday game.
Well, hands down, I mean, Saquon Barkley's got to be the MVP of the year. How can he not be?
Yeah.
I think just, containing Lamar Jackson and shutting Derrick Henry down, that's going to be the key to this game.
Yeah.
And, just depending on, A.J. Brown's, my main concern is just Devontae Smith with that that hamstring, especially coming down the stretch now, because you figure you got Baltimore this week, which will both be there, Carolina, Pittsburgh, Washington, Dallas, and the Giants will close it out. But,
yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why the Eagles shouldn't win 5 out of the next 7. I mean, Minnesota, the way Detroit's playing, I was hoping I think we still could catch them, but
yeah, because I mean they're what? Are they 9-2 or are they 10-1? 10-1? Okay. You figure, I mean, this weekend it's a toss-up. It can go either way. We shouldn't have any problem with Carolina, but the old saying on any given Sunday.
Hey, Carolina took Kansas City to the brink on this past week.
Pittsburgh would be another tough one, but I don't see any reason why we can't do it. And then maybe Washington could be a tough one too. But Dallas and the Giants, that should be Carolina, Dallas, and the Giants, and hopefully the Ravens. That's 4 right there. So let's see how it goes.
I mean, as far as playing Kansas City, I mean, as far as playing Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I mean, these 2 games are more probably affordable to lose since it's in the AFC, because the way Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay in the NFC North, it's really going to probably come down to it could come down to the conference record. The Eagles losing to Tampa and Atlanta earlier in the year, with 2 losses, but 3 wins in the division. But it's a dogfight right now. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, right now they're really the top 4 teams in the NFC. It's just if they can catch Detroit, hopefully they can stumble somewhere down these last 6 games. But it's heating up. And
not only Detroit, but Minnesota too, because I think Minnesota is with us at 9-2.
Yeah, they are. And
so we can't afford any slip up.
You got the Packers right behind them at 8-3. So it's going to be a dogfight right now in NFC North right now.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what it's a log jam in that NFC West and the South. I mean, I don't know. It's like Atlanta's falling off.
Let me ask.
I think I lost you. I can't hear you on my end.
Got me now?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Something went in and out.
It was on my end because I seen the slash across the mic, so mute. Maybe I touched something wrong. All right, I got 4 questions for you. First question.
Sure.
Who has the edge on defense, in your opinion?
Eagles, Ravens?
Yes, Eagle, Ravens.
Eagles.
I'm
calling us down the middle,
Okay.
No sugarcoat, no, not being a homer.
Okay. Offense, who has the edge?
Well, I would say Ravens, Lamar Jackson, slightly over. I love Jalen. Running back.
Yeah, that's
even keel.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean,
Absolutely.
tight ends, I would definitely say Baltimore because of Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Receiver wise, Eagles. Well, I would say the Eagles. I mean, AJ Brown. Hopefully, Devontae's back this week, but it's pretty much. I think it comes down to just being a heavyweight fight.
Right.
I mean, Lamar's been playing lights out. Derrick Henry's definitely been playing lights out. Jalen's been playing smarter football, not turning it over. Saquon's just been the NFL free agent of the year. How can he not?
Yeah.
But it's that offensive line's blocking better. They were giving up a lot of sacks this year, but now you got Jordan Mailata stepping back in. But Fred, I'll say this: Fred Johnson's was nice when Lane was out. He stepped in with Jordan Mailata out, Mekhi Becton playing solid.
Yeah.
Juergens and Brent Lane and Dickerson. So it's probably going to be the toughest match, I'd say, between now and the Pittsburgh game. But I just think these two are the toughest two games on the schedule, and we're going to, this could be a preview of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So now, do you think coaching will be a difference maker here?
Possibly could, but hey, I mean, as much as we ridiculed Nick Sirianni and wanted to, run the guy out of town, I mean, he's, you got to give credit where it's due. And, we all thought he was going to be on the hot seat if this team, stumbled out of the gate 2-2. But, you won 7 straight. I mean, of course, you definitely got to give credit where it's due to Vic Fangio at this defense and Kellen Moore with this offense. So,
yeah, it's a lot that's going into this, and I think another thing that's going into it is, I believe it was Mailata, a couple of other lines. I don't know who it was, Becton or Johnson, but 3 or 4 guys went into Sirianni's office and said, "Well, let's run. And they all said that Sirianni is a type of coach where he listened to his guys.
Right.
He has the trust in them, and they start to run him, and look what's happening since then. So,
well, they back him, they buy into his speech. I saw the replay. I should have sent it to you the other day. After the victory Sunday night, I mean, he went in there and was like, great game, guys, but you guys didn't win nothing. I mean,
the mission, I've
seen
that.
The mission's still, you still got 6 games to go to get to the playoffs. And, from 10-1 last year, dropping the last 6 or 7, you want to get back to the playoffs and get that bad taste out of your mouth after that Tampa game last year and just that whole debacle, different season. I think this team is more focused. Sirianni, Fangio, Kellen Moore all together. Just got these guys all on the same page. There's no finger pointing. And
and I think right now too, with Brandon Graham going out, he's much beloved. I think that's going to play an emotional part on everybody, because let's play this for Brandon. And a lot of time that little bit of emotion can help kick it into an even higher gear.
Well, as I said, besides being a cheerleader, just, firing these guys up, whatever he can do to get them.
Yeah, absolutely.
To bring the best out of them, being on the sideline, moral support, picking it up, just being more than not just a sideline cheerleader. But, if they're messing up, he's going to get right in their asses on that bench.
Absolutely. I mean, I think he's going to be there 100%. And if they don't have to mess up, they can have a good play. They come on the sideline, he's going to grab them, talk to them. Okay, that was good. Let's do it again. That was great. Let's do it again. He's not going to let them get complacent. Or like Sirianni said, everybody's in your ear. Oh man, you guys are good. You guys are good. You're the number 1 team, number 2 team, number 3 team. Brandon is not going to let that happen because just like the coach said, we haven't done nothing.
Right.
So I think that's going to play a big role.
Well, I mean, let's switch for bowl. Yeah, let's switch roles here. Let me ask you.
Okay.
2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
You've talked to Brandon Graham. You see Brandon Graham. Like, what's his attitude now with the tricep torn?
Well, I haven't seen him since that happened, except for on TV. Mm-hmm. But what you see on TV is the real Brandon Graham. He's positive about everything. He's positive about everyone. Right. He's positive about the Philadelphia Eagles team and organization. And I've been here his whole career with the Eagles. I haven't seen a change in him yet. Like I say, I don't know if you've seen the when he was on WIP the other day, but it really got to him. And he shed a tear. He cried, but he said he needed that. Right. That was so real. That is him. And Brandon is a great football player. He's a great individual. And that's going to carry him a long way, and it's going to help him to spread that to his teammates in his absence. So
as far as the rapport of the team, I mean, I know you always say it's business when you take them to the airport or whatnot, but what's the rapport with this team now? I mean, is it more positivity than last year? Does everybody seem on the same page? Which obviously,
I think everybody seems on the same page. The last guy, I didn't take him out this week because what was I doing? I think I was doing hockey, so I didn't take him to the airport. I didn't pick him back up because when they came in Monday morning about 7:00, that's when I was with who I was with Monday. I was with a hockey team Monday, and so I couldn't be out there with them. But I can pretty much guarantee you they were the same. They don't get too high or too low in a win or loss. Right. They I think they're even keel. They're business like at all times. Sometimes when they get off the plane, get on the buses, take them to the cars, you'll hear a few things here and there, but you don't hear anybody, oh man, we kicked that bus, we did this, we did that. Oh man, we lost bad. You don't hear none of that. They're pretty much even keel and laughing, joking, and talking with each other. Not necessarily about football, but about anything because they have that close camaraderie in their close-knit group. So, yeah,
so it's not, we're not going to get too high off the win, and we're not going to get too low. We're just
absolutely
keep this train moving.
Yeah, keep it business-like, keep it moving, and like Coach said, keep your head down and keep working. And that's what I've seen from them all season. And I mean, even in their stretches last year, when they was going through that stretch, we know because we're human beings, we know how they feeling. Right. We know they didn't want that bad stretch, but they got it. Right. Once that game is over, there's nothing they can do about it. So they got off the buses and trains and stuff, and you didn't see people moping. They was business-like. And so that's what they have to do.
Well, as they say, winning cures all, and thanks to those New York Giants for sending Saquon Barkley our way. So
absolutely. Now,
you know what SB stands for, right?
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Now, I don't know if you remember a few games ago, and we seen clips of it all over the place. Of coach sitting down next to Barkley on the bench and said, look, you got 13 yards before you break the record.
Right.
And he said, well, no, let the guys eat. Let the guys eat. Coach said, are you sure? Because I want you to do this if you want it. No, let the guys eat. And then turn around. What happened Sunday? He got the record anyway. He got a
Right.
bigger record, and it's just it
Yeah.
shows you when you're humble like that,
Mm-hmm.
things would turn around and come right back to you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Karma. Good karma.
Absolutely.
It's just his, very humble person. He's gone through, Saquon's gone through 2 ACL tears in his career. He wanted to get paid. The Giants shunned him. He came to Philly, which growing up in the Allentown area, just a very humble, down to earth person. Just
Yeah.
as you put it, he keeps it business-like, and besides Saquon coming Philly, last year just I believe left a bad taste in a lot of, especially going back 2 years ago, losing to Kansas City, being hungover last year. But this team has the fire, the heart. They're taking care of business. As we'll both be in Baltimore this week for the game.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
can't wait for that 4:30 Sunday. But it's going to be the game of the year. See what not the you can't really you just take it week by week. And as I said, this is going to be a knockdown, drag out fight between like I said, it could be a potential Super Bowl preview. And
yeah, it could very well be.
And it's just great, to be in person to see it. Looking forward to it.
I just sincerely hope that as far as the Philadelphia Eagles concerned, they can start off good, they can play well through the middle, and they can end up playing well. Because with this particular team that they're playing, you cannot afford to wait to the second half to play ball.
No, you can't slip up.
No, you can't at all. Can't at all. So
not just Derrick Henry, but Justice Still. Nice. You give Derrick Henry, a breather. Justice Still's been playing pretty solid the last couple of games, and I think if you shut Lamar down and Derrick Henry, you win this game.
Yeah.
But, thing of it is, just hopefully, they can get some of the guys back. I just think they need to get Dallas Goedert more involved.
Yeah.
I think Cal Kater is having a nice year. But, now you're getting into December. This is the month where you run the football. So,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Especially going into December and January. So now's the time, continue to play old school smash mouth football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think you kind of see. I think now you're kind of seeing the game maneuver a little, like besides passing all the time. I think you're getting back into the running. The running game is getting. I don't want to say revolutionized, but you're going back to this smash mouth NFC's football.
Yeah.
Pound the rock.
And simply because we got the guy to do it. We got the line to do it.
Well, you brought Saquon in to take the pressure off Hurts.
Yeah.
Problem of it is Hurts still holds on to that ball, but I think sometimes I think he tries to take it upon himself to do too much. And,
I'm sure that is true.
When he's on, he's on. But,
yeah. This is definitely complimentary football when you have someone like Barkley to run the way that he does and take some of the pressure off. And there's going to be times when somebody's going to figure out a way to limit Barkley, and Hurts is going to have to take over. But I think the whole team has the mentality to do that.
All right. Everybody's got to step up. You can't depend on Jalen, AJ,
Yeah.
Smitty, Barkley. To me, when it comes down to like winning a championship, it's always the unsung heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look in baseball, there's always a utility guy, backup catcher that always comes in and gets that clutch hit where they're always, they weren't the most the best player on the team, but it's a team effort.
Yeah.
It's
all right. Listen.
That's
Listen,
right. Now you gotta get going there.
Well, no. We got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
I want to shift gears here for a little bit. Tell me your thoughts on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, I think Paul George flat out was a waste.
Mm-hmm.
Was just, to me, I read there was something that came out about that Embiid wanted Sixers to get Jimmy Butler back, but I don't know how they would have maneuvered that with Miami. This Sixers team just seems like a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah.
I know it's. Somebody said it is early. What are you, 15 games into the season? But
yeah, but you haven't had 15 games in a hole though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just maybe like Josh Harris. He just seems like he's taking care of more so of the Washington Commanders than the Sixers. I don't know. Somebody posted something about with Embiid. I think it was WIP, but I commented the other day and just said flush the process because it's just I don't know. It's like Embiid's off this. He's not going to play this night. Like you extended this man really for no reason. You gave him more money. I don't know. I just don't understand that franchise. I think it's time for Morey to go, but it's a dumpster fire right now. Like
I only see two bright spots, and that's Maxey and McCain.
Right.
For all the money that MB is getting, for all the status that he has, in my opinion, I don't think he's showing anybody, teammates or anybody, that he wants to play.
I just don't think his heart's in it. With all these injuries over the years, here's the thing: Boston just owns him for whatever reason. You go back to like when the Yankees, the early 2000s, when it was the Yankees in Boston, and like they said Pedro Martinez. Basically the Yankees were, who's your daddy?
Yeah.
It just seems Boston owns Philly, and just with all the talent up there, and they just that organization, as much as you can't stand them. You got to give credit where it's due, and who are you going to trade Embiid for? Like, really, who's going to take him? Nobody.
Yeah, especially with the injury itself. Because if he's traded, then I don't know exactly how the contractual thing goes, but I'm sure the other team will probably have to pick up some of that.
I'm sure. I don't know who would be stupid enough to take him at this point. They're basically stuck with him.
Yeah,
and
so
unless it's just it's frustrating. You feel bad for Sixers fans. People that have season tickets, and you spent all this money. Those tickets aren't cheap.
No, they're not. No,
thankful and blessed to be an Eagles season ticket holder for 30 years, and held on to them. But you got to give it to Jeff and Howie. They want to win. I'll say this: I've ridiculed Howie for years, but all right, they didn't win anything yet. Well, they have, but I mean, it's been 6-7 years. But bar an injury, you got to give credit where it's due. And like I said, I've sat here, shows in years past and ridiculed Howie and just, but got to say, I mean, I know you got Dave Dombrowski, but I would say Howie is definitely, the
top dog when it comes to GM.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's another thing. What are the Phils going to do? I mean, you got Bohm on the trade block. Are the Phils going to break the bank for Juan Soto? I know you got to maneuver some pieces. What's it going to cost? I mean, there was a rumor that came out today or yesterday that they were going to trade for I think I'm saying his name.
The Angels?
Nah, the White Sox. Crochet. They were going to. The trade rumor was supposed to be Alec Bohm and the rookie Justin Crawford to the White Sox, but I wouldn't give Crawford up because he's your future center fielder. He's a 5-tool player. Now,
right.
As good as Crochet is, he's got a hell of an arm as a start. I mean, that would be phenomenal in that starting rotation, but I don't want to give Crawford up. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's your best prospect in the minors, and he's another year away. But why? Not for Crochet anyway.
Right.
But I think if you're going to go out and get Juan Soto, you're going to have to maneuver.
Yeah.
I mean, the upside of Juan Soto is, guy's 25 years old. I know you got to go.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, man. Listen, great show tonight. And one last thing. What's your score for Sunday?
Oh, shoot. We had some comments coming in from Sean, my friend Sean Kilran. Sorry, Sean, didn't see your woman. Can I read these questions real quick?
Yeah, real quick, because I really got to go.
Run the football with Barkley, Sparkling, some AJ, and Dallas will just be fine. He's predicting Birds 28-21.
Okay.
Process is over. Tank the rebuild. I'm building around Maxey. Porson down. He takes care of himself. We basically say you can't trade and be with the extension. If we attack OKC gets picked. And Snell went to the Dodgers.
Yeah, okay. Well, sorry we didn't see that, but we really got to end this thing now because I got to get up out of here and go pick up these New York Rangers. So again, like I said, great show.
Thanks to Brian Propp for coming on.
Yes,
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe. Get fired up. 4:30 Sunday, M&T Bank Stadium. Eagles Nation will be taking over. And go Birds.
Go Birds. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. This has been Al Norfleet and Mike Fuji. The 50 with Fuji and Fleet. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving and go Birds, folks. EAGLES Eagles.